these people are ridiculous. It's sad. It's gotten to the point where they will say whatever they want, and half the country will just nod their heads in compliance like lemmings. Like asking someone to present identification before you vote is remotely similar to what was going on during the Jim Crow era in this country. It's really an insult to black people, is what it is, to say that. And anyone who lived through that or has family who lived through that, stop calling it racist. It's not racist to ask somebody for ID. It's not. So just stop that. It's something that any functioning adult in this country has. And if you don't have ID, guess what? You are not a functioning adult in this society. And by the way, I doubt that you're actually going to vote anyway if you don't have ID. Think about that. In America today, 71% of Democrats in this country support voters showing ID at the polls, but 0% of Democrats in Congress support it. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that Democrats are clearly up to something, and I think even Democrats watching this right now would probably agree. And not that long ago, even Chuck Schumer himself believed showing ID was the best way to prove that you are a bona fide person.
One way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
What happened to Chuck? Seriously, Chuck, what happened? It's pretty simple if you think about it. As Democrat policies moved further to the left, their voting base started inching further to the right, to the point where in 2024, Donald Trump got more of the black vote than any Republican in history, which has forced Democrats to protect the only voting base they've got left: immigrants, illegal aliens, dead people, and people who vote by mail over and over and over again. And to get around fighting against a law that 71% of their own voters support, Democrats made up the lie that asking someone to present identification before they vote is somehow Jim Crow 2.0. And for months, Democrats have repeated that lie, that somehow asking someone to prove they're a citizen is an impossible burden to place on minorities, but especially black people who they think are too stupid to get an ID.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware.
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so like, we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
I love this woman because she calls it out without really saying it, but how stupid this really is and how stupid it makes Democrats look, and there's no other word to describe it. And to get around all of this, Democrats are now claiming that asking someone to show identification before you vote is the same thing as the 100-year period between the Civil War and the Civil Rights Act, better known as the Jim Crow era. So let's take a look at it, because no one else will do this. We will. Jim Crow laws were a collection of southern state laws and statutes created after the Civil War in Democrat states meant to marginalize African Americans and limit their ability to vote and prevent them from getting high-paying jobs or getting an education.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.